Hey everybody, welcome back to a new episode of Coast Life. We are your hosts. I'm Paige Marley.
I'm Leah Rizzo. This is the final Thursday of 2023.
Oh my gosh, it is.
I know, isn't that crazy?
Oh my gosh, I didn't even think about that. Now I'm feeling kind of sad.
I know, and I've never stopped to think about that, but I heard somebody say it earlier this week that they were like, it's the last Monday of the year, and I was like, that can't be right.
I'll be happy with the last Monday of the year. I'll be sad for the last Thursday, Friday.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But that's where we're at.
Yeah, that's right. We missed you guys. I know we've been on a slight hiatus. Hopefully you were catching up on some other episodes of Coast Life that maybe you missed before.
Yeah.
But we're back, we're new, and we've been busy while we've been gone. So you might see some outfit changes today.
Yes.
That happens to the best of us sometimes. While we were off for the holiday, got some other interviews with some friends and things like that. So you'll see those happen today.
That's right.
Yep.
You may also notice a fresh new look.
Yes, girl.
Which that means I took a trip to Rehoboth Beauty Boutique in Rehoboth Beach. Jonava and her team, man, they are
unreal.
Phenomenal.
Yep.
Unreal. I was excited to go back to something that's a little more my natural hair color. We chopped off the scraggly wild woman of the woods hair that needed a trim.
I hear you.
And just went for like a little sleeker,
Love it.
cleaner look.
What a good idea.
Yeah.
They said people are going a little shorter, a little darker for winter, so you're very trendy right now.
Yes, that's me.
Yes, I'm digging it.
Super trendy.
You know what's kind of crazy that we want to talk about today too?
Yeah.
And this isn't our normal kind of Coast Life topic. It can be a little more serious. You'll see why I'm bringing it up though, because unfortunately, people are kind of bringing a humor aspect to it. But you guys probably know the name Gypsy Rose Blanchard. She's getting released today.
Yes.
After 10 years in prison. Really incredible story. If you haven't heard about it, it's Gypsy. I would be surprised if you haven't, but
if you haven't,
here we go. It was her whole life. Her mom abused her and told her she had diseases she didn't have, lied to her about basically everything, kind of held her captive, if you will. Yeah, her mom had some serious mental health issues, so Gypsy. She ended up, this sounds so not Coast Life, she ends up killing her mom, she goes to jail. The whole reason we're bringing it up though, because we want to get away from the sad stuff, is people are now on good old TikTok and they're thinking of trends for Gypsy to do when she gets released from prison.
Which, I get that it's so hard to tell sometimes because Gen Z is so unserious and because they've lived so much of their lives online. I think it is always harder to tell. Like, people aren't as good at telling what's a joke and what's not via text. You know what I mean?
That's true.
So, if people are in the comments saying, oh, she should try this trend, that trend, be on this podcast, that podcast. You really can't tell if people are serious just by reading the comments.
Idea.
You might be able to tell by someone's diction in a video that they're sharing or talking about. You can be like, oh, okay, this is a joke, this is satire, I get it. But I think where a lot of the discourse happens is, of course, in the comments, and that's where people get confused, and they might be serious because Gen Z is so unserious as a generation. And then I think a lot of people, you tend to just be unserious in your 20s, but it's funny, but it's not funny at the same time.
Exactly. Let's get this poor girl just back into society
first.
Maybe some help, things like that. But people are like, this is so mean. Someone was like, get her to eat a chamoy pickle.
No.
And that's that red pickle trend where it's kind of like a spicy pickle. It's just a lot. So I don't know. I in my opinion, I'm like, let's not joke about it. But like you said, I understand the Gen Z aspect of she has taken over so much of the news, and she's such an interesting story that people want to have her on.
And how interesting too. I mean, just the difference that society has gone through over the last decade.
Huge.
For one, she never had a true sense of what was going on in the world because of her situation growing up. And then on top of that, to be reintroduced to a society that she really doesn't know, you need to give this poor girl a minute.
She doesn't even know what TikTok is. She was gone through the pandemic, just a lot of things that we've all been through together. So it's going to be interesting. I do hope eventually she writes a book.
That would be good.
That would be really good.
That would be a good read for sure.
In a few years,
For all our true crime junkies out there.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, I'm very interested in a respectful way. I hope you can tell, but in this case, so it'll be interesting to see what happens today.
Yes. Yeah. Another thing, sort of speaking of social media, trendy. This is becoming a trend and certainly much more lighthearted, but at the same time, I would say kind of serious. Maybe your teen or your 20-something at home has started to talk about baby Botox. And it's something that we're seeing a lot more on social media, and something that I've seen too a lot where, people in their 20s are getting lip filler here and there, or they are getting what they're calling baby Botox, which is just little bits of filler, but you don't have any lines on your face yet. And I think it's because it's sort of been advertised to people in their 20s as like preventative Botox. But I think I've also heard a lot of dermatologists say that like that's not really a thing.
No, yeah, I do. The girl who I've gotten Botox from before has talked about that she will be honest with people when it's time to get a facelift, because Botox only does so much. It's just natural that your face is going to fall. All of our skin is going to sag. And so she's like, I'm honest with people, when Botox isn't enough, I'm not going to just inject you with things.
Yeah.
I did think it was funny at Christmas, my beautiful nieces who are 9, they were asking for like under eye patches, things like that. And I think to them it is fun. They got eyelash curlers even though they don't wear makeup. You know? So I did think that was fun, but it does kind of show it's becoming a trend, almost like a hobby, and people are starting very young. I just don't want them to forget. I'm like, you're 9, you're so beautiful. You don't have bags under your eyes. You don't.
Yeah. And I think like, you know, beauty is something shared from, I think, mother to daughter, sister to sister, like that. And I think like the little eye patches.
They're cute.
The sort of spa day has a visual image tied to it, whether it's the whole face mask and the cucumbers. Like, little girls are going to want to be like, I want to be a part of that. And you're like, yeah, of course you do. And it's just relaxing and fun and more social than anything else when we kind of bond that way. But I think where the danger comes in is that preventative Botox isn't really a thing. Again, everybody's face ends up kind of sagging a little bit. Even when you get Botox, that will also start to droop eventually.
Face fall.
And I think there's a lot of dishonesty in the beauty industry, especially in that area, targeting the impressionable, not fully developed brains of people in their early 20s.
Yeah, that's where I draw the line, is the baby Botox. Is when my nieces start wanting that, that's when I'm like, I'm stepping in here, we're not doing that.
Something else that is being talked about lately that maybe you heard, or maybe you got this gift for Christmas, in which case, maybe a little bit of skepticism.
Here we go, we're coming for your relationship again.
We are talking about the shoe theory. This is sort of like old wives' tale material, where if you are gifted shoes for the holidays, it means that, I can't remember if it means the person that gifted them to you is thinking about walking out.
Yeah, I heard that. Yeah, so apparently if you opened up, like, even if it's like cute running shoes or something, that it's a red flag. We obviously, I don't know, I can't speak for Leah, I don't believe it.
I don't believe it either, because I know I've seen my dad gift my mom, like, you know, new running shoes, exactly that, what she's wanted, exactly what she asked for, and
she's going strong.
They're going strong.
There you go, exactly. But some people, and again, this kind of goes back to that gypsy conversation we had. I can't tell if people are serious online, but some people are saying they're serious, and they're calling it a red flag, and they're mad at their boyfriends, blah, blah, blah. So that if you see that on TikTok, that's all it means.
Everything's a red flag these days.
Yeah.
It makes it harder to tell the real red flags.
That's right. You know what's all green flags?
COASTLIFE.
These girls.
That's right. We've got a great show headed your way today. Our field correspondent, Maya Henry, is going to tell you what's coming up on the show.
Coming up today on COASTLIFE, looking for a new home to start the new year's right? Stay tuned, because we're matching you up with some of the top local real estate agents. And is maintaining your old vehicle causing you stress? Don't fret, because we have the perfect dealership to find your dream car. And are you planning to propose to your love in the new year? Find out the best dates to celebrate your special day. All that and more when COASTLIFE gets back.
COASTLIFE is brought to you by BB Healthcare, Coastal Comfort Heating and Air Conditioning, Preston Automotive Group, Shell Brothers, and the Parker Group.
COASTLIFE, if you are looking for your happy place, your dream home, the place that you want to walk in and just feel at peace, you're also going to want a team to find that home that cares about looking for your happy place as much as you do. That's why we've got the Parker Group joining us today on the COASTLIFE couch. Rachel and Renee Parker. No relation, right?
Actually, there is.
Is there?
Yes.
Nice. What's the relation here?
My husband and her husband are cousins.
Yeah.
Their dads are brothers.
Oh, nice.
So funny. I love that.
So a little bit of a family thing going on, but I also think that shows how much you guys are a family, not just in blood, but I mean, you take care of each other as co-workers. And we introduced to you one of the top producers of the month last month, but Renee, that's you this time, right?
Yes.
Yeah. All right, so Rachel, tell us a little bit about this. Why do we keep introducing the top producers to our viewers?
Yeah, so we were thinking how we wanted to show kind of the world our team, because we have some of the best human beings that I know working at the Parker Group, and we feel so fortunate every day when we go to work that we just love the people that we work with. And so we thought, how could we get more exposure for our agents and get the Les Delmarva to know them a little bit better? And so what we decided is that our top producer every month is going to come on COASTLIFE and just let the viewers know a little bit more about them them. And so Renee has been with us for several years at this point and has been a top producer consistently. And so she was our top producer for November, and we're really excited to have her here today.
Amazing. Cool. Congratulations, of course.
Thank you.
What goes into being a top producer? What do you do that's so important to your clients?
Really, I think it's a few things. I mean, the superficial answer to this question is really just hard work, grit, consistency. But on a much deeper level, and I think what makes me maybe a little bit different sometimes is that I truly care. And so the grit, I guess, comes in naturally because I want my clients to be happy. And if they're not happy, then I'm going to do whatever it takes to get them to that level, even if it means sacrificing sleep, working ridiculous hours, or, you know, spending all day on the phone to track somebody down or get an answer for my clients or whatever it's going to take.
That's amazing.
I just want to brag on her a little bit more because she
She's humble, clearly.
She'll joke sometimes. Actually, her husband will joke that when you hire Renee, you don't just get a real estate agent, you get a friend, a mover, a therapist, whatever you need.
I wear many hats.
I have seen her do landscaping, help people move. That's not on her business card. Please don't ask her because she will say yes. But she will literally do whatever it takes for her clients, and she does it every time. It's really inspiring.
That's amazing. It makes a world of a difference when you have someone like that. Buying a home is hard enough. We all know that, especially in today's world when there's so much you just don't understand. To have someone who actually cares, it just brings you so much peace.
And I think, you know, people start the search process online a lot of times where there's no personal connection necessarily when it comes to finding that home. And again, with you guys and your team, you really do care just as much as your clients do into getting them into that happy place. And it's something really special that you do. And it's those relationships that you build with your clients that, you know, forge those friendships.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think it's really important too to be genuine through the process, but also after you get to the closing table. I always tell people you can't get rid of me this easily. just because you've signed the papers doesn't mean I'm gone forever, kind of thing.
Does it make your job easier too? Of course, it probably makes your client's job easier in the home buying process, but does it make your job easier as well having that relationship?
Yes. I only hesitate because I truly am a people pleaser at heart, and so like there's a lot of sleepless nights truly, you know, because I don't know, sometimes I think it makes it a little bit more difficult to care so much because it is hard to just cut it off, you know what I mean? And so I will do whatever I need to do, you know, within ethical bounds, of course, to make sure that my clients are happy.
That's awesome. That makes sense.
Well, so for people who are maybe looking to move to the area, buy their happy place of the week, and be at peace within their home, how should they get in touch with you if they want to make a new friend?
My cell phone number is 302-745-5978. It's super easy to remember. My children have it memorized from all the voicemails I have left.
Oh my gosh.
Awesome. Well, Renee, it's been a pleasure to introduce you to our viewers officially with the Parker Group, and I know you're going to continue to be a top producer and make a lot of new friends here on Delmarva. Well, don't go anywhere, though. We do have some more Coast Life to get to that you're not going to want to miss, so stick around.
This segment of Coast Life was brought to you by the Parker Group.
Leah, we had a story on here previously with Katie Zerilli from Delmarva Life, and it has just kept me up at night now, thinking of dryer fires.
Well, that fear isn't necessarily that irrational. I mean, think about how often you check, you know, we all check the lint trap in the dryer,
You
right?
should. I
but
hope you are.
There's that little like duct that goes to the outside of your house that, when was the last time you checked that?
Yeah, it was almost like, you know, your AC filters, and you're like, oh, I should change those. It woke me up, and I'm so glad that we have people like DryTech, because I am remembering now to check my dryer.
Well, and you just want to make sure that it's in the hands of the professionals. You know, if you don't know what you're doing, it could still be potentially dangerous to you. So we're going to let Katie Zerilli take it from here, and our friends at DryTech Crawl Space Solutions to tell you about the steps you can take to prevent those dryer fires.
Austin Ireland and his crew at DryTech Crawl Space Solutions see quite a few crawl spaces throughout the course of the week. Some need more attention than others, but there's one issue they often come across that can't be ignored.
A lot of times we find when we come to the house, the dryer vent is exhausting under the house into the crawl space. That's a bad idea.
A bad idea, and a dangerous one at that. As Austin says, it could easily lead to a fire.
There are up to 15,000 fires that occur in homes every year just from dryer lint combusting. You're talking about a lot of humidity and moisture that's being dumped under the home, plus the lint, all the lint that gets under there, and that lint is lunch for mold. It's gross.
Gross, especially once you find out what makes it up.
Lint is 90% skin flakes and hair follicles. You get your other 10% of cotton, nylons, maybe a tri-blend, but that's pretty gross.
Yeah, clearly not something you want in your crawl space. Fortunately, Drytech's solution is state-of-the-art and stable.
We use special pipe, stove piping. So the dryer vent that we install is going to be the last dryer vent you ever need. We're not going to use that plastic accordion stuff that's going to dry rot and break down in a few years. It'll be a metal pipe that probably outlasts all of us, but the main thing is to get it exhausted to the exterior of the house.
On some occasions, he finds that even if it is venting outside, the material has become compromised and moist air is still leaking under the house. He says often homeowners are aware of issues, but not addressing them.
Usually they say, oh yeah, I know, I've been meaning to address that. But because it's the crawl space and they don't want to go in the crawl space and it's pretty neglected most of the time, they don't do it. So that's why we offer that service.
Basements, he says, are the same story. That air should be draining outside the home. Of course, there'll be a small price tag on this service, but it couldn't be more worth it.
What you get in return, the peace of mind, the safety aspect of having that vented outside the house, not having to worry about a house fire, I think is worth it.
He thinks that because he cares.
I don't want to see people suffer. I don't think anybody does. And a lot of us have pets. We've all got fur babies at home, or we've got fish tanks or something. And I know the data. The data's in on house fires caused by dryer vents. So if anything, if we can prevent your house from burning down or save your little furry loved ones, I'd like to do that.
And of course, once your vent is draining in the right direction, maintenance is still massive.
You should have your dryer vent cleaned at least one time a year. Maybe if it's your second home and it's very lightly used, maybe once every other year. But the important thing is to have that lint cleaned out to prevent that fire hazard. But yes, we'll do that for you.
Just one more avenue through which Austin's keeping you happy at home.
Katie, thank you so much. I mean, it's the holiday season. You don't want to be dealing with something like a fire, a dryer fire in your home.
Definitely not how you want to start 2024.
But you do want to start 2024 maybe with a new car.
That's right.
A car that you got for a good deal. That's right. We are talking to Preston next. They are telling us all about their deals and steals coming up this year.
That's right.
So excited getting you ready, so stay tuned.
This segment of Coast Life was brought to you by Drytech Crawl Space Solutions.
You guys know that we just love Preston here on COASTLIFE, Preston Automotive Group. I told you guys maybe a few weeks ago now about a time my fiance and I were out. We had one car. It was a struggle. We couldn't find anywhere to patch a tire for us. And Preston came through. It was like, honestly, it was like a godsend. They helped us out so much. I could go to work the next day because of Preston. They really are just so family friendly and they want to help the community. That's why today we're so excited to introduce you to Chris Marks with Preston. Chris, thanks so much for being here today.
Hi, good morning. How are you?
Oh, well, I'm doing great, especially because I have working tires.
Oh, there you go. That's a great thing.
So, but you guys are helping a lot of people get cars for the new year, helping families get the right car for them. Tell us about this fun sale you have going on.
So it's a top 60 sales drive. Each year we have our year-end sales event, which is, it started really back in 2009 where we ended up finishing 107th in the nation. And ever since then, we never really thought it was going to be a possibility. And ever since we got so close to the top 100, we've been hitting it ever since. And we've had 10 years in a row where we've been in the top 100. And this year we're going after number 60.
Nice. That's incredible. Can we talk a little bit about how big of a feat that is? Top 100, and you were just little old Delmarva over here. You guys are competing with top car sales in the country.
So we are. We're in a population of under 1,000 people. You know, it's like 850 people, and you have 3,000 Ford dealers in the nation. And we're competing against big markets like Texas, Michigan, California, and we're in Preston, Maryland, which is unbelievable. So we're sitting at right around 2008 sales for the year. We're 100 units away from 61 and 140 units away from number 60. So, and when you start getting into that top 100, it starts, the closer you get to that top 50, the numbers just they start to get really tight. So we have a lot of great incentives out there right now, and we're just excited to be a part of it.
Yeah, I mean, kind of speaking of little old Delmarva, take us back to kind of the start of Preston. I know we've learned about the history of Preston and how, started as just a little old dealership, and where you guys are now, you've got many different locations, you're serving all areas all over Delmarva, and I think with the sort of community focus that you guys have, you're always, it's a dealership from the heart, really. Like you're not just another number when you walk in. I think car dealerships can be intimidating, and you guys really eliminate that intimidation factor.
That's the great thing that's why I work at Preston. We have relationships with our customers. It's not just, like you say, it's not just a number. We have relationships with them, and we know our customers by name, first name basis. They have our cell phone numbers, and it started when David Wilson started selling cars, really, and he ended up becoming a partner. And back in 1981, he founded the Preston Automotive Group. And then it was just, one dealership, and now it's grown to 15, and really it's because of the community and the support that we also give to the community, but with the support that the community gives back to us. And he started, it was funny, you guys brought up the frog earlier as we were talking before the show, and the frog really, it was a funny commercial that he was going to do. I don't know if you know the history of it, but he decided to get a sales team together. He was going to do a funny commercial about, let's give a frog away. Everybody else was giving away all these gifts, and he's like, let's give a frog away. And they had all the sales team around a box, and they were like, if you buy a car from us, we're going to give you a frog. And all the salespeople were like, a frog? Why are we giving a frog away? And somebody came in one day and actually asked for a frog, and we didn't have one. So he ended up getting these giant stuffed frogs, and now they've evolved to these little frogs, which now we actually we've actually transformed that into our community events, and each frog represents a different foundation that we donate to every year.
Yeah, I mean it started as sort of a goofy symbol and is now a symbol of all of the charity work that you guys do, and you pick different organizations to give back to, all supporting the community, and it's all just it's a really beautiful thing, I think, with the power behind a car dealership to give back to the community the way you guys do.
I went to a local high school recently, and I was talking to some automotive technicians that are looking to get into the industry, and I was like, who's heard of the Preston Automotive Group? And all the hands go up, and I'm like, who has a frog on their dash? And like 70% of the
But we got some frogs in the studio somewhere too.
Yeah, we put the frogs on the dash, and people keep them there, which is pretty awesome. So it is fun.
That's incredible. So hopefully we can help you out, because you help us out so much, the community. So if people are looking for a car, how long does that top 60 sale last?
So this year it goes through January 2nd. Okay, we're going to be the great thing about right now is we're going to be open from now till January 2nd. We're going to be open New Year's Eve, which is a Sunday this year. But normally we close on Sunday, but we're going to be open 8:30 till 8, and then we're going to be open from 10 to 6 on New Year's Day as well. And then that last day, which is the 2nd, will be our big day where we're going to be looking to sell as many cars as we can. So come out and see us.
Definitely.
Awesome.
New year, new you, new car.
New car. I like the sound of it.
You need it. Perfect. Thank you so much, Chris, for telling us about this absolutely incredible sale and for what you guys do and what you're going to do in the future. We know Preston has a lot more coming.
Yes.
Well, thank you very much.
Of course. All right. Hey, we have a lot more coming too. Not as much as Preston, but we have some coming up today. So stay where you are. Coast Life. We'll be right back.
This segment of Coast Life was brought to you by Preston Automotive.
It's time for another great debate. Every week we're just talking, competition and drama, and we just love it. And it is different from our Spill the Tea segment, of course.
That's right. This one we really want you to participate in and get us fired up. And maybe we agree, maybe we don't agree, but that's kind of the fun, the friendly nature of the great debate. We're not talking serious stuff. We're usually going in for the more lighthearted social things in the world.
These are things that are safe to talk about with your family at Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year's, if you're doing that dinner. These are the safe topics. Today we are talking about proposals, okay? And when is it okay to propose? Specifically, is it okay to propose on a day of significance, like a holiday or a birthday? And fight, go, what do you think?
So I think my answer has actually changed over the years. I think when I was younger, it was like, absolutely not. I want the proposal to be about me, like my special day, and I wanted to be selfish with it. I think now, as I've gotten a little bit older, if it's my birthday or like his birthday, then okay, because it's kind of our day, it's already sort of about us. But like if it's somebody else's birthday, and somebody decides to propose that's kind of unrelated, that seems like, you know, you're taking the spotlight from that person. As far as holidays go, I think, I sort of went the same route where, like, when I was younger, I was like, absolutely not. Like, I want my own special day. I don't want it to be about Christmas. I want it to be about me. But yeah, I guess just as I've gotten older, I'm less attached to the sentiment, I guess. And I'm like, okay, it could be something else to celebrate on a day that already feels special. The family's already together. You know that they're going to be together. And just as you get older and it's harder to get everybody together naturally, I can see why holidays are popular times to propose.
Yeah, definitely. I told you, so I got engaged to my brother's. I guess technically it was his birthday weekend, but it was the day we were supposed to celebrate his 21st birthday. I know. So, because his birthday was on a Sunday, and it was the Saturday, and it was the only Saturday, just because of work and lives and schedules, the only Saturday my fiance could propose. So he did end up calling my brother, and this was like months in advance, and my brother was very excited. So I think as long as you have the approval, that it's going to be someone else's day, because it worked out, you know, ended up proposing. The next day we had a birthday party for my brother. I do have an unpopular opinion, I think, is I'm not mad if you propose at someone's wedding if, don't get mad yet, if you cleared it with the bride and groom. I know some people think it should never happen. I just don't care. If the bride and groom don't care, why do I care? That's how I see it.
I mean, I guess if I knew the bride and groom didn't care, then I wouldn't care. But like, if you don't know, if you're just attending the wedding and all of a sudden you see somebody propose at somebody else's wedding, I would be like,
no, you're kicked out.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah, because like if you didn't know that the bride and groom were in on it, it does. Let them have their day. It's one day.
Right.
And I do think I lean towards it shouldn't be done.
I agree. I think it's same thing with like even Christmas. That's everyone's holiday. So if you're going to propose at family Christmas, do it. I think that's great. I wouldn't be mad. But maybe tell the family first.
Yeah.
Because the family's expecting to celebrate their Christmas, and now they're celebrating you. Just at least give a heads up.
Yeah, I think that's what, I would want everything to kind of be cleared by the family to know that that's going on, and that, you know, it's going to be Christmas will be a little different that year. Like it's going to be celebrated a little differently that year. But I mean, my family's so easygoing that I could definitely see it turning into more of just like, you know, toast of champagne and then festivities as usual. Like it wouldn't be a huge moment, a huge deal.
Yeah, but let us know your hot takes. This question's on our Facebook page.
That's right.
Right now, so please type away. We want to hear what you're thinking about marriage proposals. And do you have like a crazy proposal story?
Ooh, yeah. If you have one, we want to hear it.
Please let us know. Someone proposed like, I don't know, the day you gave birth or something. Like they just totally took your spotlight.
Yes, air it out with us, please.
That'd be awesome. Leave the names out of it. We want to hear it. That's on our Facebook. We have some more COASTLIFE to get to though, Leah.
Yeah, we sure do.
All right, let's keep it moving. We'll be right back. All right, COASTLIFE, I'm so excited to introduce you to this next guest. I met her, a while ago, maybe even last year, but she is creative, she is kind, and she makes adorable things just like this that you can have in your home. So please welcome Jill Partington to the COASTLIFE Couch. Thanks so much for being here.
Thank you for inviting me.
I'm so excited. So look at all of this. This is kind of your niche. This is what you do. But first, I want to hear about your background, your story. You're not from Delmarva.
Can you tell?
From a little further, right? So, Jill, just tell the people watching first a little bit about you and your background.
Okay, so I'm coming from Manchester in the UK. Came over here 30 years ago now.
Wow.
I come from a family of crafty workers, you know, sewing, knitting, crochet. I picked it up when I was about 15.
Wow.
Stopped for a few years, and then I picked it back up again after I came over here. And I was making basically baby clothes for my friends at the World Bank, where I used to work. And then I discovered a book, Edward's Menagerie, in the UK. Shall I?
Yeah, please.
So this is a photograph from my sofa when I started making these animals. So cute.
They're so cute.
My partner, Craig, knows them all by name. All I have to do is mention the animal and he knows who they are. And that's how I got into making the animals. And I love it.
You're obviously very good at it. I mean, when you came in, I told you, you kind of got me back into crocheting. I was trying it. I wasn't having a lot of luck. And then I met you, and you inspired me. Again, my stuff doesn't look like this just yet, but I'm hoping
you'll get there.
It will eventually. So something like, let's take a look at some of these. So of course we have this small little seagull here. We have an adorable little Grinch. But then there's also, this big octopus in the middle. So how long does something like this take you to make?
Well, the octopus was quite a revelation even for me. That took me around 40 hours.
Love it. I met you when you were making a Pip the Penguin, which is, he's up front there with the little snow hat on. You see?
Yes.
Yes.
This is Pip.
And I love that. Can you mind taking his hat off and showing them? How cool is that? It's incredible. And not only do you give your little stuffed animals that you make their own stories, but other people who write are coming to you asking you to bring their stories to life.
Correct. I will actually personalize these as well. If somebody wants a particular one, I get information about their pets' names, family members, and start incorporating them into the stories of the animals. So that's sometimes a challenge, but we get there.
You do. So you did that with Polly, who we have right here.
Correct.
Isn't that right? Okay,
That's
I'll hold
correct.
Up this book.
So this actually, a friend of mine, Teresa, asked me if I would make a horseshoe crab for her friend, Bill Walton, who wrote this wonderful book, Polly the Horseshoe Crab. And he wrote the book and did all of the illustrations. And this is the underside of the crab. And it's just a very educational book. It helps kids understand what it's like not to be the prettiest one in the room, and it's still okay. And it talks about Polly and trying to get to know the planets a little bit more. Very curious little horseshoe crab.
I love that. Well, we love learning about it, but also I think kids would really enjoy your work. I mean, you have a book for your kid, maybe for Christmas, right? You get them this book for Christmas. How amazing that they have their own Polly to go with their book.
Exactly.
It's just perfect. And something else I want to show off. I want to show off everything because it's unreal to me. But this, for example, I mean, I don't know if you can see this.
It's a work in progress.
No, it's beautiful. But everything is its own separate piece. You knitted presents. You knitted a mouse Santa, mouse reindeer. Look at this. I just think this would make a great gift for kids who can play with these, have fun, and they can't break them because they're soft and squishy.
This is true.
Amazing. So I met you at Shore Marketplace.
Correct.
In Lewis, and I saw some of your amazing work there. Are you still there? Is that where people should go to get some of your stuff?
Exactly. Yes, I'm still at Shore Marketplace. It's only me, so I can only go so fast.
That's okay.
So I make all of these things and I sell them at Shore Marketplace. There's going to be a holiday event actually on the 7th.
Okay.
So people can come in and take a look at them there. And if anybody is interested in something that I've never made before, I love a challenge. Let's take it on.
Yes.
I do want to give a shout out.
Please, yes.
That I follow patterns. I'm not the designer of these things. This is like being in a kitchen and following a recipe and coming out with something fantastic for your friends.
Right.
There are fantastic designers out there, and I follow their patterns, and I shout out to those guys.
Well, you do an incredible job just capturing all the detail. This pirate, I don't know if you guys can tell, he has a mom tattoo. Do you see that? A parrot. There's even a little metal earring in his ear. You've thought of everything. It's really incredible. Before I let you go too, I really would love if you could show off who's next to you.
So I made the queen and I made a little corgi to go with her.
That's just unreal. I mean, I think a lot of people now are going to be watching and they are thinking they want to get these books and the animals for their kids. They maybe want an ornament that their kids can't knock off and break. You know, these really make great gifts. So just one more time, where we can find you, and if you're ever not at Shore Marketplace, is there a way people can get in touch with you?
Yep, they can follow me on my Facebook page, Crafts by Jill. I'm kind of new to Instagram, so we won't go down that road just yet.
That's okay.
But yeah, that's the best way to do it is go through Crafts by Jill or drop into Shore Marketplace. I've obviously got business cards in there. And the bottom line I just want to say here is that it's a tough world right now in many, many ways, for many different people, for many different reasons. And I think if you can take up this kind of hobby, or if my work that I do can bring a little bit of joy into somebody's life, then I've been successful in what I'm doing. It's definitely a labor of love. There's no money to be made in this, guys.
That's true. They definitely encapsulate what Delmarva is all about. You even donated a Rudolph to the Children's Beach House for a silent auction. So you really are just what Delmarva is about: creativity, but also kindness and generosity.
Thank you.
Look at his the little dangles. It's so cute. Well, Jill, it's such an honor to have you here today and to learn more about your art and what you're doing. Thank you for coming in.
Thank you very much. Thanks a lot, Paige.
All right. So don't forget where you can find her. We're going to also have all that information on our website. All right, coastlife.com. So when you're ready to purchase things just like this, you can find it easily. Right now, though, we'll let you go. More Coast Life will be back after this. Guys, I have missed you and I have missed this segment. While we were away, our Spill the Tea segment, it feels like it's been forever. I know. Since we've done this.
I know.
I guess we did do it last Thursday.
Yeah, but that's, a whole week with a couple of days thrown in and you're just like, up from down, left from right.
I need some drama in my life. I'm excited. Of course, this drama today is going to be a little post-Christmas themed.
Makes sense.
Apparently, a lot of y'all had some drama going on.
I was saying, in case you didn't get enough drama over your own holidays.
Ouch. Yeah, there were some conversations at the Christmas table, and you guys let us know.
Yes.
So let's get to spilling the real tea first.
Yes, so the literal tea we're drinking today, this comes from my personal collection, the Lady Grey La Creme Black Tea.
I love it. It's from your personal collection, but still from Spice and Tea Exchange.
Still from Spice and Tea Exchange.
Amazing.
Because a lot of my personal collection is from the Spice and Tea Exchange. I've been drinking their Victorian chai lately, which has been really good. Little hint of rose.
Delish.
But this one's got a hint of lavender, staying in kind of florally.
Is there orange in it?
There's orange in it, so you get a little bit of citrus in it, and then it's all mixed with the traditional Earl Grey.
Perfect. I love that you can see like the orange peel in it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, perfect. Let's get to trying it. I'll read us some drama real quick. All right.
All right.
So this is written in by a woman who has 2 young kids and a husband. So there's your context. So this woman says her husband tends to sleep in very late. We don't know why. Maybe he works late.
Sure.
He tends to sleep in though. He normally on weekends will wake up around 10, 11 in the morning. So Christmas time comes and she just kind of assumes he's gonna sleep in. She says Christmas morning, the kids got up around 9:30. I went downstairs with them. We opened up gifts. All of a sudden, Dad came downstairs and he's like, hey. He's so mad. He missed the kids opening their Christmas presents. She said in previous years, she's woken him up at the same time, and it kind of took him a while to wake up, but he eventually got down there with the kids.
Yeah.
Again, we don't know why he sleeps in so late, but that's fine. She says he was in a very bad mood on Christmas morning.
Gee, I wonder why.
Right. And even when they went to family's houses, he was still very sad. This says the husband actually ended up apologizing for sleeping in, which I think you didn't need to do, sir. Leah, what do you think?
I'm with you.
Yeah.
I think that she's in the wrong. I mean, I'm not sure how old the kids are. They might be a little bit older if they slept until 9:30. I mean, unless they're both really good sleepers, which it happens.
Yeah.
But I feel like, all parents are exhausted Christmas morning. they've been hyping the kids up for Christmas all month long.
Yes.
So I think, everybody's tired. And everybody's excited Christmas morning, and those really are memories and moments that you don't get back if you miss them. Even if you set up a camera and you film them and you're looking back, it's not the same as being there in person, watching your kids open your gifts. So I feel like I really don't know why she wouldn't have tried to wake him up, even if she didn't mean it maliciously.
Yeah, she does say she did not try to wake him up this year. She just kind of was like, kids are up, I'm up, all right, let's go downstairs. I think it's also instilling that importance of having the family there for your kids.
Yeah.
If they are used to it, or the mom didn't make it a big deal, they might be like, oh, I guess it's not a big deal to celebrate family during the holidays, as opposed to if she was like, don't open your gifts, let's go get Dad, this is a family thing, they'd be like, oh.
They would wait.
Yeah, they would wait, hopefully.
And it just, it feels, even if she didn't intend it maliciously, this is where intent and effect don't necessarily match up, but they do matter, you know? And even though it's not what she intended, she did hurt him, and it's wild to me that he's the one apologizing, not her.
You need to apologize, ma'am.
I feel like she needs to really do something special to make it up to him, and, something with the kids, I guess, so that it's a memory that he can partake in.
And I have no idea what that would be. I don't know how you can make up for that.
Because that's a hard one. Like, you can't really make that up.
Yeah, I don't know how you would make that up. Like, it's not like you can just go replicate Santa. Like, I don't know what you can do for that.
Can't call him back. You gotta wait till next year.
So hopefully you do better next year. I think that's just an important thing. Us parents who are watching, let us know what you guys think. I'd be interested to hear your take. I'm excited to try this tea though.
It's always super hot.
I kind of want to add our sugar to it.
Yeah, this is one that's a little bit, like I like a little honey or even a little milk with this tea because it is a little bitter, but the citrus plays well, and I think that sugar will play nicely into it.
And it has a little bit of orange, and this is our cranberry orange sugar.
That's right.
I'm excited. Yep.
What do you think?
It's just right.
Yes. Perfect cozy tea. I mean, anything from Spice and Tea Exchange on Rehoboth Avenue in Rehoboth Beach will have really anything that you're looking for. And even if you're new to drinking tea, they've got some samples sometimes. Like last time I walked in there, they were like, you want to try these samples?
Nice.
I was like, I do.
Yes, especially with all the rain we've been getting lately. Like yesterday was just a tea kind of day. And hey, wake up your significant other on Christmas.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you. That's all we have for today.
Yep. We got a little bit more Coast Life headed your way though, so don't go anywhere. You're not going to want to miss it.
Spill the Tea was brought to you by the Spice and Tea Exchange of Rehoboth.
check this out, Leah. I know you've been so excited for these adorable pictures.
Yes, I have those cute faces.
I'm obsessed with them.
They belong to some of the species of seals that you may see starting to come through the area with the Delaware beaches. They work their way down the coast, and it's this time of year that you might see some of those seals. So if you want a little outdoor activity, and those photos were taken by Kim Johnson, local photographer. You may remember we had her on the show a few months back.
Love.
And just gorgeous photos, gorgeous adventures. Make sure you get out and see those seals if you can.
That's right. Thank you for sharing those with us. Of course. Yeah. And hey, Coast Life fam, before we let you guys go, also, we just want to send you a little reminder that Shelbyville has some extended days. Yes. We saw a lot of rain this month, didn't we? So Shelbyville has some extended days. They'll be going into January 1st and 2nd. No tickets needed, according to their Facebook page, so you can just walk right in. So just kind of let you know if you're preparing for New Year's, especially if you have kids, could be a good, safe way to spend your New Year's Day.
Exactly, and a lot to do at Shelbyville. Lot to do at Shelbyville.
Yes,
so.
a lot. Santa's not there anymore, obviously.
Makes sense. He's got to go back to the North Pole.
He's probably hibernating now.
But you can still check out that train, the roller rink. There's so much to do at Shelbyville. You know I love that roller rink.
Yeah, the big slide.
Yes, the big slide. Yes,
that's my favorite too.
So much to do.
Yeah. All right, well, we're going to talk about our favorite things about Shelbyville. You can talk about whatever you want because we're going to let you guys go.